Happy game week, and it is great to be home in a fun, casual joint back at Roosters. Perfect timing as we get ready for Ohio State and Texas, the season opener on Saturday noon in the Horseshoe. And I've missed all of you. And for those of you that have missed the show, we appreciate all that
We've missed
support.
you guys.
We've missed talking about the Buckeyes back here, especially before an appetizer. Three
golly, Moses, it's been a while.
I'm just going to get them all out all at once. Like, get the rust off and start talking about. We got Nicole Cox from Roosters, as always. Justin Zwick back, newly appointed.
Hey, let's go
to 97.1 The Fan.
Which is amazing. Congrats.
I got to listen to you all Friday night because every time we'd go to commercial break, Nicole would come in talking about Roosters. And I'm like, I know that voice. And it was like 8 times I got to listen to
I'm
you.
so glad it's running.
It sounded good.
And Bobby Carpenter from everywhere else.
I'm excited. I mean, I saw some signs over there about the opening of the Olentangy store, which, I mean,
let's go.
Knock on wood.
It'll be fully back.
I know.
And
I was
that'll be
just
here
going to
before we
say,
know
the
it.
only piece we're missing is the new Olentangy store. But you guys, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. So we're early fall. We're getting closer and closer. So.
Okay. Do you need any help over there? You want me to go over there and start painting or doing the things?
You were supposed to be. I've been doing that all summer.
Do we need to go hang our pictures over there so we make sure we have a spot?
I honestly have to think how we're going to decorate it. So we do need to get on that, guys, and discuss it.
Okay. That'll be fun. I'm
we
excited.
Send me your favorite picture of yourself, of both of you. And maybe
Can we bring back
it on
the shirtless Bob for the birthday celebration?
Oh, gosh. Come on.
Yep.
They're terrible.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
There you go.
That was my favorite decoration that we ever had on set.
That was so great.
We'll add to that as we go because we are back and running. It is awesome to be back at Roosters. It is great to be in a game week. Yeah. Number 1 versus number 2 in the coaches poll. You can't, get any better than that. I'm choked up just thinking about it, Bob. Do you like starting with a banger like that, or do you need a little build-up?
I guarantee you the coaches would probably rather have a little game. If you could flip like game
this year, anyways. If it had been last year, I probably felt a little bit different about it.
Even at that, though, because you don't have any preseason. So, like, just to get the cobwebs out, an experienced team, it helps a lot more.
Yeah. When
you're breaking in 8 defensive starters and guys who have played a lot, maybe some new running backs, a new quarterback especially. Yeah, if you could have a game to kind of see how it goes, make sure your first snap isn't one that's incredibly important, and you can kind of work through some stuff. But I'm excited for it. The Labor Day stuff, I mean, we talked at length, I guess, over the summer, Austin. I mean, just of how they tried to have heaven and earth to move this game and get it to the Sunday night, and Texas didn't want to do it, and the relationship with Fox and how excited everybody is to have Portnoy coming here.
Oh, boy.
That's going to be a real –
That's actually that's a real thing.
That is a real thing. There's a lot of folks at Ohio State that were not all that happy about him being hired on.
Yes, we're going to play you guys at noon every week, and we're going to bring on this Michigan guy to do the show every week. It's incredible.
There's a legitimate conversation going about if Big Noon thinks that they're going to continue to be able to finish their show inside the Horseshoe. Dave Portnoy is not welcome in the Horseshoe, like, period. Yes. So I know that there have been conversations about that and what that's going to look like on Saturday, because you might have, I don't know, Bob, wanted to ask one of your most important partners about the move.
What are you doing there?
No, we're going to try to get somebody that's like
has nothing to do with
that's kind of like McAfee, but not really. He's like more of an antagonistic non-player. Like, people forget Pat McAfee's a Pro Bowl punter, and he's entertaining, but it's not like
he likes his alma mater, but he doesn't trash the rest of college football.
And he's not a jerk. Most of what it comes down to, like, Pat's like a really good dude. Yeah. So he's like the entertainment value, but not like the like, there's just so much animosity around Portnoy. And I could take some of his stuff, I could leave some of the rest, whatever. But it's going to be a fun time. It'll be noon. It's going to be pretty nice weather from everything.
It looks amazing.
I mean, we're talking like San Diego out there. Yes. They call it the San Diego of the Midwest.
They do call it the San Diego of the Midwest.
And
I'm glad that's caught on.
It was beautiful.
For this week anyways.
Well, hey, you take
it. That's
take
right.
the good weeks.
That's right.
Take it. So it's sunny. It's good. Everything's there. And you know what? We're going to start fast. That's the key to the season.
You know what? In a game like this with so many young guys starting, I feel like the noon game is probably better for him anyways. Because you remember how it was, Bob, sitting around the hotel all day, just the anticipation. Everybody's outside. You're seeing everything happening. So for them to be able to just wake up and just get after it. Those young guys, I think that has to be a little bit of an advantage for them, just to not think about it all day.
We've talked about that before, just how much. It's like waiting for a flight. You're just sitting you're like, just let me get on it.
We got a bundle of nerves, Nicole, over here.
Yeah, I don't like all that time. I don't like all the time of just having to wait and it's just too much because then you get in your head.
Yep. Well, and the other piece, Ohio State is fairly conditioned to be playing at noon. That's just what they do. I was
going to say they're very well acclimated to it.
The only games that Texas really plays at noon, did they used to play Red River at noon? Or is that always 3:30?
No, it's been at noon before.
I think they've had that at noon some, but Texas doesn't play a lot of noon, which is 11 a.m. for them.
Great.
So there is an element where they're going to fly in. Like, that's an early wake up. And if you're not used to playing and practicing at that moment, like getting up and doing it, like sometimes like getting going is a little bit tougher.
Nicole, what's your level of excitement for Saturday?
Guys,
nerves?
I'm just so excited we're back.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone, having this start this week and the game, I am so excited for. We actually just walked the Texas campus, when we were in Austin a few months ago, and it is beautiful, and it just made me even that much more excited for the game. And I'm just excited to see all these new players we have because we lost some pretty good teammates.
Oh yeah, so. 14 guys drafted.
Yeah.
That's
14
a
guys
number.
and 2 big time coaches.
Yeah,
so that's a lot to replace here coming into the week.
Were you down there in Austin trying to scout? Maybe for a future giveaway?
It would have been.
Oh.
Hey.
There will be a game there next year.
The Buckeye giveaway, you guys.
I thought these were the old ones from last year.
No, everybody get on and register.
Let's go.
Every day. First drawing is next Monday.
There have already been
next Monday, first drawing.
3 million people enter.
We just posted this, yes. And there's already
just shared it. 3 million entries already in, so it's difficult to win.
It's not difficult to win. It's not. Just register every day, and it's not one of those 3 million. It'd be great, but honestly, we want people to know you really do have a chance to win.
Took months to get the show back, and Nicole's going to throw me out.
I know.
You know what we like to do on game week, Nicole?
Yeah.
We don't have Buckeye leaves from a game to give out, so we have to do some perspective. Some Buckeyes to watch. Mm-hmm. And as you think about this game, and you mentioned all the new starters, the new faces out there, who are you counting on the most for Ohio State on Saturday?
Well, can I pull a Schlegel?
Yes, Schleg it up.
Okay. Obviously, I'm excited to see Julian Sayin. We want to see how he works with. Luckily, we have the receivers that are going to be able to do the job. They're used to it, so that makes me feel better. I'm excited for this whole team, honestly, guys. I don't want to say make me feel better. I already feel great about this. But and then I just want to see the defense. Just because we lost so many guys, it's going to be basically a whole new defensive line, except for Sonny Styles. And I'm just anxious. Yeah, I'm anxious. Sorry, Caleb. Yes, yeah. Caleb Downs as well. And when you have a whole new kind of group like that, I just want to see how they all play together. I mean, obviously they've been practicing, for months, but it's just, we'll see how it goes.
Bob, I think the most fascinating part about this whole defensive conversation is that we expect Matt Patricia, or traditionally be like, here's a depth chart, here's a 2 deep, and here's what it's going to look like from game to game, week to week, series to series. And I'm going to have to adjust my own mindset. Like, that's not what it's going to look like with him. It's going to vary probably within games.
A lot. You're going to see, depending on who they're playing, whether it's more safeties, more corners, more linebackers, more D linemen. I mean, it's who's in there, what are guys good at. And you're going to see a lot of guys play on defense, I feel. And you always rotate defensive linemen, but, I think you'll have, Peyton Pierce in there with Sonny and Arvell. Like, those guys will all play. People talked, early in camp, Caleb Downs was in at nickel. Well, they have like a 3 safety look that they'd shown obviously early in camp, and that was public knowledge out there for everybody. So
nickel, baby.
The big nickel package. And then they can go to like big dime and little dime. They have all these different personnel groups that you want to put guys in, more D linemen, more linebackers, and a 3-3, 4, like all the stuff that people have always kind of longed for. Like Matt Patricia has like it's like a Santa Claus sack of toys to pull out there. And hey, if this game calls for us to run this, well, we'll run that. Maybe if our personnel were beat up, we don't have this many guys, well, let's run this instead or whatever it is. And just being around, seeing the calls, like getting a feel for it. It's going to be exciting to see what those guys are doing and to see if Texas, how long it takes them to kind of get a bead, figure out what's going on there. Because it's a much different. Last year, the defense, you could kind of
We knew what it was going to look like.
You knew what it was going to look like. This year, I think you're going to see it look different every series, every snap, and definitely every game.
What's the learning curve for that? With them coming in, I mean, you got spring ball, so it started then, of course. But, I mean, defensively, terminology changes, right? I mean, they're not going to keep, a lot of the same stuff. Or...
So traditionally, and you know this, like whether it's offense or defense, you segment out your calls that apply to different position groups. Like offense, you're going to usually lead with a formation, then a motion, then maybe some type of backfield set or blocking set. Then if it's a pass, there'll be some routes with it. And so you call those things. Well, Jim Knowles, he would just call that like white. And then if you wanted to run like the same formation, same personnel, everything else, but maybe just one different route, we'll call that black. And it's like, well, the offensive line are doing all the same thing. Backs are doing all the same thing. Like, why do they need to know the difference between white and black instead of just tagging the end of it? It's the same thing on defense. Like front, maybe stunts or blitzes, coverages, and then like any type of tag. Like we want to press or play off or do like you build those things. Like you say 5, like easy call, like field 8. Okay, boom, we'll line up field front, play cover 8 behind it. Well, if we're going to say field 8 and like a press or something like that, or maybe a tag to it. Well, the D-line are still doing the same thing. They don't need it. And maybe the linebackers, that tag only affects a safety or a corner. Well, why do they need to all know a different term or color? Like it was Bob Ross, The Joy of Painting before. We had a lot of colors out there. And I'm like, gosh, why do the D-linemen need to know like 87 different colors? Because it doesn't matter to them. They're doing the same thing half of it.
They're only working with primary colors.
Why does the secondary need to know if the D linemen are lining up in anything else? So they could be in a 3 down, 4 down. Now maybe there's like a fit thing for some of it, but if you're playing man corner out there, it doesn't matter to you whether it's 3, 4, or 5 down. Like none of those things matter. And so I feel like the learning has been easier. Guys have kind of embraced it. It's a system that I grew up with, like at Ohio State, and then played in with Parcells and Belichick in the NFL. And so I feel very confident.
So it's not like the Jim Knowles coming in like this defense is really complicated.
It's very complicated, but I think it's
complicated, but
it's easy to learn.
Down to learn it.
Yeah, it's easier to learn. There's a lot of transferability from things.
Yeah, so you get the concept, and then you can just add little things here and there instead of a totally different call for one little change.
100%. And if you can learn, if you're a defensive back and like Caleb Downs knows it all, you want to know the front, you'll know the front. That helps. But if you're a freshman, like, let me just kind of know what I need to do and
stay in my world.
What affects me. Like, I don't need to be a defensive tackle and know like why the safeties are doing this and this at that moment.
For sure.
Let me see if I can predict. If I am in mid-season form and Justin is going to talk about offensive linemen.
No.
Whoa.
Although I think the offensive line is going to be strong this year. And I'm very excited
about that. You don't want
to
be predictable. So now he's going to talk about Julian
Sayin.
I
think
okay.
Then when you have a new starter, quarterback, new running backs, like the offensive line is going to help out tremendously. So I feel good about them coming this season. So I'm not going to talk about them because I feel good about them. I'm excited.
That hasn't been the case in years past.
Well, I know. But I'm excited to see just the Clare guy, the new tight end. Yeah, Max Clare. I'm excited to see how they use him because we know everybody on the outside. I just don't know how people defend these weapons. And then that whole tight end room, you got 4 guys that can play.
You got 4 or 5.
I mean, you got 4 or 5 that can play. So, Bob's talking about all the different formations and stuff they can do personnel-wise. On offense, I see that in the same light, really, because you could bring in
Keenan Bailey,
3 tight ends.
Keenan Bailey loves the champion that all 4 of his guys played in the national championship game, and they're like on Quinshon's 1 touchdown. I mean, it was 14 personnel. It was Quinshon and 4 tight ends.
And they did that quite a bit. I mean, not quite a bit, but they did it last year.
More than almost anybody else in the country.
100%. So, if they feel really good about that, that just adds to, and, you get some good blockers
You got to practice it. Yep. That's the thing. Yep. Like, as a defense, then that takes time away. Like, okay, they go 14.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
We have to spend 10 to 15 minutes.
You're showing it on there.
Of like, here's what we do against this.
So I'm excited about that just because I don't know how you cover everybody. And if we do have time for Julian to go through his reads and whatnot, I think, having Claire out there who's basically a receiver is going to be huge. I could see him being, a big part of this game. I think quarterbacks, especially young ones, I know I did, kind of leaned on tight ends because they're always somewhat around the middle of the field.
It's an easy throw.
They're a big target. You can usually expect them to either get it or knock it down or that sort of thing. They're going against linebackers. So it's kind of a security blanket. So I'd expect him to, maybe have a big game here early on until Julian really settles in and starts really slinging the ball around.
Bob, you got somebody that you're targeting for this one?
I thought you'd be all over the quarterback situation.
Well, I mean, that's just, we don't know.
Guys,
they're trying to break tendency.
The thing with the quarterbacks is we don't really know. I went to practice.
Yeah.
You've been at practice, you're talking to people, and, it just kind of happens. And they're like, you see a couple throws, and and then you see one, okay, third week of camp, I understand what they're going through, so I don't want to put a whole lot on that. You got to see them under the lights, in live
or
rounds.
under the live sun.
Well, under the live sun, I guess. Not under the lights. Noon. Yeah, at high noon under the bright sun.
Although, ironically, when I was over there, they were working on the lights, and I'm like, I guess we do have OU here for a minute. But
7 p.m. game. Yeah.
It's gonna be plenty, unless there's an eclipse plan for that day.
That'd be great if it was.
I guess I'll look. Do I take? Linebackers are too easy. I mean, do I take...
Everyone's trying to break tendency.
It's been a while. We're trying to throw everybody for a
loop.
Is.
I mean, I'll probably look at the safeties, and everyone knows what Caleb Downs is and how are they going to play him. And it's interesting. You talked about the big nickel package, and it's something that they'll probably see. And I don't know how much you'll run it against Texas. Maybe it's something you might run more against Minnesota. Who knows? Like, just
Illinois,
depending on what
Wisconsin,
teams do. Yeah. But Malik Hartford and Jalen McClain, both of those guys, like, they're different body types. I thought both of them had really good camps. I think Matt Carreri's echoed that, where there was some maturation for it needed to happen on both of those guys. And what's good is, hey, how do we get these guys are both good players? How do we get them on the field? Well, we can go big nickel. We can put Caleb at nickel because he's skilled enough to do that. They can both play. Yeah. And then I'm curious how they're going to try to rotate and kind of get those guys both in there, because if you have guys that deserve to play, this is great about Matt Patricia. Like, let's figure out a way to use all of our guys. It doesn't do us any good if we have 19 really good players if we only choose to play 13 of them.
Right.
What are the other 6 doing? So let's.
And it makes you versatile. It gives you. You know how much I love having some options. I like backup
Roosters.
plans. I don't like having too many options. Then I get overwhelmed. Yeah. But just
paralysis
having
by
backup.
analysis.
Yes. Hey, I'm loving all your quotes today,
thank
Austin. They're pretty great. So I love that we're doing that. And I know this, this might not be true, but I also feel that it's also keeping the guys healthier because they're not just taking the brunt of everything. And I feel like that's so important to keep, to make sure all the guys are great and
keeps them healthy, which is, you mentioned that, this elongated schedule. That's what you're going to see, like a 3 linebacker rotation. There'll be games where all 3 of them are in there together, and it might be in this game, but there's 3 guys for 2 spots. So, play 70, 70, and 30. That's 200%. Why do we need 2 guys to play 90%? Because you're just going to get beat up. That's the reality of it. So get some guys in there to help roll it. And then the other piece is it keeps everybody engaged. Yes. And it's like if you have worked hard and deserve to play and have earned the opportunity to be out there, now maybe you're not playing 100% of the plays, but if we can get you out there 30 snaps, 30%, and you can keep growing, and it gives the other guys a break, and then it also prepares you when guys end up leaving. There's just a lot of positives to it.
Well, and it keeps guys somewhat happy.
Yes.
Because, not like, I didn't get to play at all. They said I had a good camp and this and that, and I want to leave. No, you're getting your reps. You're getting in where you can fit in.
And it makes everybody feel like they're part of the team.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is a huge key with Ohio State, that you look at some of these players in the NFL, and I don't know, I'm a mom, so I'm watching the game, but I'm also judging how some of these players are acting. I saw one player one time reach his hand out to help up an opposing player and then pull it back like a real jerk move.
Oh, psych.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. And so but it goes to, there are selfish players out there, and then there are guys that just know how to be part of a team that aren't looking just for their own glory. And I think those are the best players that are out there. And Ohio State does such a great job of trying to breed that.
They have recruited very good people. I think that is pretty well established when we talk about this team and how the brotherhood is maybe a cliche at this point, but cliches become that, Bob, because they're true.
Well, the stereotypes and cliches, they're rooted in something, and it doesn't mean they're always true. But in this situation, they talk about that. When you go in there, hey, I'm going to come out. You're going to play for me for 25 to 30% of the snaps today. You need to be just as good as I am, and it's going to help me play better.
I think they have a way of phrasing that. I'm trying to put my finger.
Standard is a standard.
Oh, the standard is the standard.
Standard is a standard, Nicole. Standard
took
is
22 minutes.
Yeah.
We got our first
standard.
Just got to make sure that we hit all the bingo cards here.
But I look back, in my time at Ohio State, and I remember my sophomore year, we went out to play, and we still had, Robert Reynolds was starting ahead of me, but I played like every third series. And they're like, wow, Robert's doing this. This gives him, he used to get tired a lot. They're like, this spells him, and it gets you a chance to get out there. And, hey, you know what? If you keep playing well, maybe we're going to find a way to kind of play you more and do other stuff. And that's, it just incentivizes people to stay engaged in an era where everybody wants to get sad and transfer. And I get it. They've got a great brotherhood, but it helps. Like, playing helps to keep guys involved.
And again, keeps the other players healthy. I mean,
it keeps them healthy.
That much more
fresh.
I know this sounds so like cheesy to say, but it's.
Well, we do have.
Legends today.
Those are the appetizer Thursday. But like here at Roosters, I mean, it really, like, we have this. I've been here 21 years, and I'm the baby.
I thought you were 24 years old.
She started working here when she was 8.
But we're like a family because we all appreciate one another, and we all, help each other out. Like, if you're not busy, you're running somebody else's food. And I feel like that's kind of, it just makes you feel like you're a part of something. And so letting these guys play, it works in the end. It makes you successful. It's a good thing they're doing over there.
It's a great thing they're doing. I think that they're going to have to share some of the workload in the backfield as well. And with a new quarterback and going into an opener, you're going to have to be able to run the football on Texas. So I don't know if C.J. Donaldson or James Peoples.
C.J. Donaldson looks like a beast now.
I'm pretty excited
dude.
about what C.J. Donaldson can do. I don't know if he'll go first or if James Peoples will go first. They're both going to play. They're both going to be important.
Pretty happy with
I wouldn't
Jackson
be surprised.
Too,
I wouldn't be surprised if you see some Bo out there.
Yeah, I've heard
some Bo Jackson.
And
as long as he holds on to the football, I think.
You put a young guy out in that situation.
I'd say that's one of my question marks. Is by the middle of the season, I think all 3 running backs are going to play. Do you play them when you have this big time marquee opener against the Texas defense? Is Bo Jackson ready for that? I don't know the answer to that.
Dog's going to bite. He'll bite as a pup.
I think that's
John Cooper.
We're just rattling through them all. Let's get them out of the way, and then we'll just be back to normal. But I think the running backs are going to be key. Yeah. I think the Silver Bullets are going to largely hold down Texas. We'll get to that in the second part of the show. But Nicole, the queen of prognostication,
hopefully
has her first score of the year. Ohio State and Texas.
Yes, 28-21 Ohio State.
There it is.
Yep.
That's the over, too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's right there in that window, though.
She does break down all the betting lines. She knows where the market is.
I wish I knew.
49 points. I think it's about 46 and a half, I think.
Yeah.
46 and a half. I mean, that's a pretty good number in there.
I'm going to come in, I think, a little bit lower than that, but I'll have to reconsider because Nicole, she's
been
undefeated.
known, she's been known to do well at that.
With her score predictions.
We'll see.
Anything else? I think Roosters is opening at like 10 on Saturday,
Yes,
right?
we are. And I believe it's at participating locations. I know corporate is. So, these noon games,
you got to go.
You just have to open a little earlier, which is great.
A Rooster's just like a wizard is never early nor late. They arrive precisely when they intend to.
Okay. I like it.
That's
Guys, I'm just loving all the advice today. I'm loving it.
Is that from a movie?
Lord of the Rings, dude.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Gandalf, J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, look, we're even getting to the fact that Jay-Z is behind on pop culture again.
That's like 20 years old pop culture.
I feel so at home. Thank you for having us back, Nicole.
Yes.
Anything else that
it just
that
feels so great.
Yeah.
Buckeye giveaway, just everybody
Yes.
register.
Get on there and register
We're
every
giving
day.
away games. We're giving
what are
away
the
3
prizes?
playoff trips. So
Oh.
we have to say, postseason game. So first round postseason game.
We got to make the
But,
playoffs first, Nicole.
I know.
Well, that's
it's
another
gonna
bold
work.
prediction right over there.
Bold predictions.
Bold predictions.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break here at Roosters. It's Fun Casual Joint. And when we come back, Birm will be here, and we will talk more about Ohio State and Texas at Roosters. It is a Fun Casual Joint.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
We are back, literally, and so is Birm.
Hey, welcome to the show.
How you feeling?
Great.
Are you?
What's up?
Excited to be back at Roosters?
I am. The thing is, the real ones know that myself and like Mick Walker and Spencer Holbrook from Letterman Row, we've been coming here every week for the last 2 months anyway.
Don't exaggerate. Not every week.
I have.
I have to check my text. I never got an invite.
Because I have to stay at your
I
house.
never got an
So
invite for that.
I when I'm staying at your house, I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna swing to the Stirs. So I've been here regularly. Been keeping.
Do you go to the one in Toledo ever?
A lot, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you ventured across.
We can't verify that one. I can verify he doesn't come every single week to this location.
Fairly regularly. So it's great to be back here and doing what we enjoy doing. So it's awesome. I mean, not to get all emotional, sentimental, but
do it.
I was under the impression with this show
doesn't look like you've had your wings yet, so that's why you're not.
These
are real tears. He's not just sweating from the eyes.
I was under the impression with this show because we get a fairly consistent number of watches on this show, but we also had a fairly consistent number of comments, which the comments were always like
better than the story.
Well, unfortunately, they weren't. And most of the time, the comments, the people that leave them, it's somewhat pointed, or some would say negative. And so sometimes I get it confused. Like there's actually tens of thousands of people that aren't commenting.
You ever thought that maybe the people, it's for some referred to as the vocal minority?
Sure.
They watch it just to complain and
just to say mean things.
What Birm was building up to was that we did find out during the hiatus how many people greatly appreciate
the amount of people that would seek me out.
So
and
many
like,
people.
When is the show coming back?
Right. Like I kind of, I mean, I've always enjoyed when we do the show because it's such a lot of fun for us, but I wasn't sure always that it was resonating with the people watching it. And what I realized is that the 10,000 plus every week that don't comment are the ones that are then
they really enjoy it.
Those are the ones that are emailing and reaching out on Twitter and in person saying, hey, when is the Rooster show coming back? So grateful to just be back. That's all.
It's awesome.
And game week. So let me ask you guys this question. Austin sort of went there to start the show about would you prefer opening with a smaller matchup?
A tune-up.
But now this one's here, right? And you guys both happened to play, in the game against Texas 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Sad to say that.
Jeez,
when I was like, 05 to 25.
Oh,
It's 20.
That's easy math.
That was not a season opener, right?
Second game.
So what, as a player, how different is this week for you than it would have been if Ohio State was playing Ohio this week and Texas next week, or Grambling this week and Texas next week? How different would it be?
I think you just know a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah.
Like you've got some reps in, like you've got some film. And it's a game like that where you're probably not playing 4 quarters, like, and you get some stuff, feel good. You give up a little bit of film, but then you also get a little bit of film on them. Like that's the thing with these teams. I mean, if you're Texas,
but isn't that the ironic? I mean, these two teams played 10 months ago, so
they did, but
9 months ago.
2 coordinators.
Yeah, but then they lost 26 people between the two teams and
Ohio State
coaches and
2 coordinators.
But is that not an advantage at Ohio State? Like the national media, when we listen to people talk about this game, there's
Feinbaum.
There's going to be a blowout.
There's not a lot of people who seem to think Ohio State is going to win this game.
Our roster
nationally.
terrible.
I think the gamblers do, since Ohio State is still favored in this game.
The line has moved. It's
came down to 1.5.
So it's moving towards
I like that.
Texas.
Keep it coming down.
But when you look at it from this, isn't that an advantage that's not being talked about? The fact that Ohio State has 2 new coordinators, and I don't expect there will be a whole bunch of changes offensively for Ohio State.
But defensively,
defensively, it's a big change.
If I was Steve Sarkisian and I'd be like looking at this, like I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to see. I mean, what are you going to do? Go back to Matt Patricia and find? Yeah. I mean, heck, he was coaching some offense, coaching some defense, and like the NFL game is far different. And then trying to tailor it to a personnel grouping that you really haven't seen either, because you, outside of 3 starters, they rolled D linemen, and Vell played some last year. You saw, my guy, number 7, Jermaine Matthews played a lot. Like there were guys that played a lot, but I mean, trying to figure out exactly like what I think they're going to do based upon what this guy's done in the past. I mean, I've seen every practice, and if I didn't, I would have 0 idea. And they've done some stuff that I'm like, really like it. It's things that I've seen from New England they've done, but like they've done a lot. So like how do you know what that blend is going to look like?
Well, then offensively, you can go back and watch a quarter or a half of Brian Hartline calling plays from a couple of years back, but you're not going to really get a feel for what he really wants to do and what his philosophy coming into the game or his game plan coming in is going to be. So.
And also you lost 2 really good running backs. And so like you kind of built a lot around them. Mm-hmm. So and not that, Peoples and Donaldson aren't good, and Jackson as well, but it's just you have a lot of really good receivers, tight ends. You have a new quarterback. Offensive line looks like it did largely in the playoff run, but that was not what you saw most of the season. Right. So, you're trying to figure out this.
We've been pulling our hair out since Matt Patricia got here, trying to figure out what the defense is.
I'm excited.
Do you think, Bob, as someone who's been there for every practice, Jay-Z is someone who's been there, do you think that they're intentionally not showing us anything or saying anything just for this game?
Why would you?
I'm not saying they shouldn't do that. I'm just wondering, is that why we're still so in the dark?
Because people are like, well, what are they going to run? I'm like, well, they run a lot, but why would you want to give up that advantage?
Yeah,
it's hard to learn how to attack a defense that you don't know what the lead coverage is. What's the lead call?
Their base. What is their base going to be? We can at least go off of that.
First and second down. Are they going to run more 2 high, single high? Are they going to do 4 down like they did with Jim Knowles? Will they do some 3? Maybe some odd front, some bare front. There's just a lot of stuff. How much do you like to blitz with it? What do they look like? Do you blitz on linebackers? Do you blitz? Some guys love to blitz safeties and corners. So it's a lot. When you blitz, do you play man behind it? Do you play zone behind it? What type of zone? What type of man? And Patricia does a crap load of stuff. I was curious how much they'd be able to get in, and they got in a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of his player-driven. I'll give you a call, and you have some choices of what you think you can get into based upon
what you're seeing,
and how you're stressed.
Was Caleb doing all that?
Well, there's some with the linebackers. There's linebacker D-line discussion, because there's things that can just impact 2 guys.
Yeah.
Where instead of us playing like this, let's play it like that.
No.
It's exciting. You're going to be shooting a lot of
I'm
different things.
I think that's what makes it. There's just this notion, and I've said it to you a bunch of times, Bob, Jay-Z, we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we were winning the Roosters golf.
Yeah, which we haven't talked about.
Didn't get to talk to Nicole about that. But Arch Manning going into the horseshoe and playing against this defense and not having an idea maybe of what Matt Patricia's going to do, that's a really daunting proposition. And as Birm has coined it, the Manning ratio does favor Texas in this game, but to think that either quarterback in this game is going to be a finished product on Saturday, I think is folly. And I think you brought up week 1, and sometimes games there's rust, there's clunkiness, there's wonkiness. Both of these defenses are so talented. This truly does become one of those games where it's like, all right, how do you manufacture this to avoid mistakes, lean on a running game, win up front? Because I personally don't believe that Arch Manning or Julian Sayin are going to determine the outcome here.
Yeah. Everybody, there's so much fanfare because of the last name. But last time we saw him, he didn't come back in the game.
He got to know Lathan.
Yeah, he got to know our defense pretty well. And, that's got to be in the back of his head a little bit, even though there's new guys. But he realizes what Ohio State brings on the defensive side of things. So,
do you think anybody in Austin has asked him this week, you got in one play against Ohio State? What did that one play teach you about their defense?
I bet that they have not brought up that memory, if I had to guess.
I wonder if he remembers
that memory.
Yeah.
What will be interesting about this, and this is, I just kind of thought about this, and Justin can tell you, the more you see of something, the more comfortable you get with it. And this game being, if it wasn't in Columbus, I wouldn't feel near as good about it, just because that's a lot for a first-year quarterback. Yeah. It's going to be a lot on Arch. Now, it being a night versus noon, okay, but I still think it's going to be a really loud.
I don't think the crowd's going to be into it.
I don't care where this game was played; it's a toss-up. These 2 teams are 2 of the 3 or 4 best teams in the country, without question.
Yeah,
they just played each other 2 games ago. They know each other. They're loaded with talent. They're all
that was actually Texas's last game,
but they're both replacing 15 different guys who went off to the NFL. They both have a first-year quarterback starting. They both have a ton of weapons. It's if this game is not 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, I will be shocked.
And so I think there might be a big play in there. It wouldn't surprise me if both of them are a little more aggressive, especially if you're at home. But the Ohio State, I think if they can force 2 3-and-outs off the jump, that's probably going to get you through the first quarter. If you can find a way to get 1 more in the second, I think they win this game because, as Justin will tell you, if you're not seeing a lot of what they're doing, it's hard to figure out what exactly it is.
Yeah, you get 3 and out, and you get 6 plays, and all of a sudden they come out and the defense is totally different again.
Oh, we want to do this formation, but we don't have an idea what they're going to give us here. So then all of a sudden we're 3 more plays, and we're back on the sideline again.
So if you can get in those 7, 8, 9 play drives, well, now you're getting some exposure. Okay, they're doing this, and we shift here. They're jumping in this front. They're doing this coverage. Because you have no idea. This more than any other time. So if you can find a way to get 2 or 3 3-and-outs in the first half, they're going to go into halftime, and you don't have a book of ideas of what's going on. It's like, well, they've run this on this 3rd and 7. They had a 3rd and 5. They were in here. This is kind of their lead calls, but we have only seen a couple of them. I mean,
12 plays.
It's hard.
Keep them from getting those long drives.
Yeah, I mean, there's a discussion always, and we've had it at Ohio State a lot in the last couple of years about how if you have less plays, you get less offense, obviously. But when you have less plays and then you don't know the defense that you're playing against, that becomes a double whammy.
Yes.
Right?
It's hard. You can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, because they haven't had to go like
just
deep
a
inside.
guessing game when you're calling plays at that point in time.
It really is. Like,
we think they're going to do this, so let's go for it.
Like, if you only.
Well, that's when you just rely on the athletes that you have and hope that you break a play.
And hope the guys can make one, but like you're also hoping that they don't get fooled.
Or you're giving them calls where it's like, all right, if we see 3, we're going to this side only.
Yeah.
If we're seeing 2 or we're seeing something different in the backfield, we're going to this. Like really not dumb it down, but give your quarterback.
You have to simplify it.
I mean, we had plays back in the day like, all right, if they're in 3, we're reading backside, and you're not supposed to be reading over here. If it's 2, you're coming back here. So I mean, you're able to just kind of give the quarterback when you're not sure what they're going to do, give him a couple options that are pretty easy to say, all right, they got one high safety here. I know what I'm supposed to be reading.
So the Texas defense is obviously very talented as well. Ohio State with a veteran quarterback scored 21 points in that game in that Cotton Bowl. It's not going to be easy. So how can Brian Hartline and Ryan Day and Keenan Bailey and Billy Fessler put Julian Sayin in a position to manage this game and avoid exactly what you're talking about, Bob, with 3 and outs and uncertainty? Like, what needs to happen and what's reasonable for Julian Sayin in a debut?
Well, I think some of it's like Justin will tell you, get the run game going. Like that'll help.
100%.
That'll help. And Ohio State having really kind of 4 returning starters, I think will help bolster that significantly. The other thing is too, like moving around JJ and trying to get him involved. They're going to bracket him, try to double him, do whatever you can. But as you saw against like Notre Dame and the fake, reverse stuff coming back, like you get him moving, do other stuff like
panic. The defense panics.
To him.
They pay attention to what's going on with him.
And with that, like other guys will come open. You'll see Brandon Ennis have some success. Carnell Tate, probably Max Clare is one of the guys you mentioned that could be the huge beneficiary because the tight end like vertical passing attack wasn't really a big part of the game last year. The game plan, and I think this year it could be much more significant.
Who do they bring in to cover that guy? And all
what
of a
does
sudden
that
now
look
we're
like?
running downhill on that person. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did some no huddle stuff. Just once they got him in something. As for a quarterback, this. It simplifies what you're seeing. Like they're not going to sub personnel.
Yep.
We're in this. I'm going to get that, and you're probably getting pretty simple looks.
Yep.
And so that would make it easier for Julian, and that's.
Yeah, I mean, I think you come out, you run the ball, you give him a couple. You're probably going to get one of those like at the line and now route. Get the ball out into somebody's hands and see if we can get a couple blocks out on the perimeter by the receivers. Just some easy things to kind of get him into.
See the ball go through the hoop.
100%, yes. See that first completion, just get the ball out and just get him going that way. But I think the run game with this offensive line, I think you got to kind of lean there right away and just see how that's going to go. Now, with Hartline, does he come out and just take a shot deep on the first play?
All of us have known him for a long time. Like him not being aggressive would be out of character for him.
Yes. So, I mean, that is a whole nother ball game to this whole thing of what is it going to look like. Do you say, hey, we're just going to let Julian rip one here early? Jeremiah, go. Throw it as far as you can. If it's incomplete, we don't care about that. We're just going to take the top off right away. Yeah, it
wouldn't surprise me if
different
that's
ways
the
to
case.
go. I mean,
after Ryan, after how that playoff run went, I think that there's going to be if we're going down, dude, we're not.
Or you take your two best and say both of you go, and if they're doubling over here, you're going this side. I mean,
you can do that because if it's not there, you also have really talented check down options with Ennis and Claire or out of the backfield. Yeah. I think we saw again. We did not see nearly as much practice, Birm and I, as you did, Bob, and Jay-Z, you were in last week. There was a lot of that. All right, your check down options can be a really good option if you're Ohio State because they can make something happen with the football in their hands. All of those weapons can. We saw, some of the screen game and short and intermediate stuff.
Screen game won us that game last year against Texas.
It sure did.
Well, it helped anyways.
It was critical right before halftime with Travion. So I feel like that's probably where it is. That's where I expect to see it because you can score a 70-yard touchdown and the ball's only in the air for 5. That's how good Jeremiah and Carnell and Brandon Ennis and maybe Max Clare could be.
Yeah.
But that's the difference in this year's team. You knew what you had in Travion Henderson as an outlet there out of the backfield. So for the running game to be a piece of this puzzle is obviously important to get Julian Sayin comfortable, but then you're going to need to use those guys in ways that maybe Texas isn't prepared for because That's the only thing they did successfully last year against Ohio State offensively is throwing it to the running back. So maybe it's a little bit of a eat your own poison here because that's what they did.
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
eat your own
poison. You gotta have your own poison.
Eat your own poison.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta take a bite of your own poison.
What would be the benefit of that?
Well,
building up immunity.
Yes.
No, it's to poison Texas. It's to say, hey,
I've already poisoned myself.
You did this
you
to
can't
us.
Poison me.
You did this to us. Now we're going to do this to you. It's a tit for tat. It's a turnabout's fair play.
Eat your own poison.
Turnabout's a fair play.
Yeah. It's what's good for the goose, good for the gander.
That's something.
It's got to be your gander.
But I do.
But it's your gander.
It's got to be your bull.
Like people talk about this, or what the game's going to look like, and you go back and look at the game last year. And granted, a lot of different players, a lot of different characters out there, but you're talking about a game that, outside of the 14-point swing that happened at the end, I mean, it's about to be 21-all tied up with a handful of minutes remaining in the game.
Yeah.
Part of one of the scores, and it's real, was Travion before half catching it and zooming down. Now, there was a turnover by Will that maybe stopped some stuff and different things, but I mean, these teams are very evenly matched. Yeah. With their talent levels and what they're able to do. And it was, last year's game was proof of that. And I think you're going to probably see a lot more of that here on Saturday.
Is this a situation where win or lose for Ohio State on Saturday, the reaction is going to be too much?
I think depending on how a loss or how a win looks. I mean, if you win, obviously it's going to be a big deal. If you lose and you lose a close game, in this era now, you're going to feel it emotionally, but it's like, okay, well, you played one of the best teams in the country.
And then it's just a big test for you.
Here's why you lost. Yeah. And now you can go through with a fine-tooth comb and Ryan can get underneath guys' skin. The harder part is if you win the game, do you still look at the million reasons why you could have lost it, but just kind of gloss it because we won? And that'll be the challenge for Ryan, is getting everybody to lean in that maybe you don't have all these guys who had all these painful experiences as starters and been leaders where you've got to analyze wins as close as you analyze losses, because if not, they can come back to get you.
Well, and back in our day, it was like the better we played, the worse it was in film the next day. They do that whole psychology thing. This is a bad game. The film isn't as bad to watch, but they bring you back down to earth pretty quickly in a good game. But
we're lucky we didn't get our ass beat.
Exactly.
Well, we didn't.
We didn't. And
if it wasn't for this play and this play, I'm like, okay, well, those are true. We made some bad ones, and maybe they didn't There's times where you blow a coverage and the quarterback doesn't get to it. It's like, all right, well, that could have been a touchdown. Maybe in another, multiverse of madness, they get to that one, but that's kind of what it is.
That came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Well, as you said, Bob, these are the two most talented teams in the country. At least the coaches agree with that, with number 1 versus number 2. So what is going to happen? Berm, it's Monday. You have a score prediction?
Yeah, but at first I got to ask, did you puke on the Blue Angel thing or not?
There was really nothing that came out. There was a lot of dry
He wanted to.
Yeah.
My body said, we need to throw up.
We need to do something.
My stomach said there's nothing in there because I outsmarted.
Did you have to prepare
go
yourself like you're going into surgery? It's like don't eat, don't drink for 12 hours?
Well, I knew I wasn't going to eat. I left my show, went and worked out a little bit, got in the cold tub, prepared myself for the game situation.
Taco Bell.
That would have been terrible. He tried to feed me a Nutri-Grain bar beforehand. I was like, no. He goes, you want something in there? I do not. Yeah. I do not. I do not want to be throwing I've drank plenty of water. I feel good about the situation. I know where I'm at. I'm not going to pass out. That's my goal. I can't control if I throw up or not.
Yeah. But you didn't pass out?
I did not pass out. I battled through we had the 7G turn.
You had the what is it called? The spins or what is it called?
The G's?
I mean, is it? Does he just say get ready and you just have to
ready,
tighten everything up?
Yeah. Well, you drive. He's like, it's like doing a squat, or a leg press. Like you need to squeeze your legs as hard as they can to drive the blood back into your brain. And the last one, and I asked him in the brief, I was like, so what is that like? He goes, it'll kind of go gray, and then it will start to come in. I was like the movie? He goes, it's pretty close. And I would testify as it was like. You can see the darkness coming into the sides. You lose all your periph, and it's there at the very end. And then we came out of it. It's like and it's like stars. It's like you've been holding your breath for a while or something.
Could you have dropped the bomb like Tom Cruise did?
Oh, I had my hand. Dude, I was trying to stay alive. Hopefully, in my mind, I think so.
Do you think you could have got it? Yeah.
In my mind, they had the little sticks.
I thought he was going to come out of it with a new appreciation that maybe he wasn't Top Gun.
Oh, 100%. I have I knew that was hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I have the utmost respect for those men and women.
I'm glad you got to do it. You've been appreciating it as long as I've known you. So
I really have, and it was awesome. And he asked, he's like, well, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "Well, when's my next time coming up? Let's go."
Can we get a bomb in here?
At the end, all I wanted to do
next time.
Well, at the end, all I wanted to do was.
Can I be on the 50 cal or not?
But I didn't want to tell him. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to ever ask you to stop.
Not tapping out.
I'm going to sit
not
there.
Anthony Richardson.
All you can. I've got the raw footage on a little mini disc. I'm going to upload it. I'll send you guys the link.
Carpenter, get off the plane.
The 45 minutes. No, it wasn't that.
No, he wanted out. He wanted out.
Out of the time I was. When I skydived, I just wanted to get to the ground as fast as possible. Like he was spinning me.
I don't think you should go as fast as possible.
Well, yes, fair. But I just wanted out.
You want to take it out.
Believe me, there was a thought of me saying, if I just pull this, then it will be over. Then it will be over if I can just get out of this plane.
That'd have been a heck of a way
honestly, to get the most out of the experience, if you don't just evac, then
they said they call that the bonus ride. If you get the bonus ride,
that's fun. 17-16 Ohio State.
17-16.
Gosh,
speaking of the bonus ride, I just don't see these teams scoring a lot of points.
I agree with that.
Again, it was 14-14 into the fourth quarter last year. I don't see a way that these two offenses, with everything that was lost on both sides, and I know there's losses. I know there's losses on defense. Two quarterbacks making the first start. You had two guys who had played a ton of football as the quarterbacks in this game a year ago. I just don't, unless both defenses are so much worse than we anticipate them being. I believe that this Ohio State offense is going to be very similar to the 2021 offense. I've said it a lot in the last week or so. This is kind of how I see this going. But
we have to play Oregon again.
Well, eventually,
maybe.
But this year's defense
21, right?
should be a whole lot better than the 21 defense.
Kerry Combs still has nightmares.
I don't think that they need to score 40 points a game to win with this team, and I don't see any scenario where both these teams are in the 20s on Saturday. So whether it's 24-17, 2013, 2017, I don't know. I just don't see both teams in the 20s.
I like the 21-17 is kind of where I said it's a race to 24, and I go, anyone that gets 28, it's probably game. Yeah. I'm like, this is – that over-under is, 45, something like that. So you said, I think we'll get at least one big hit, knowing Ryan and Brian and how they like Ryan Bry.
And knowing Jeremiah.
You're wasting it. Let the horse out of the stable. Like, let him go. Yep. Take a couple shots. We throw more go balls than anyone else in the world.
Texas will certainly do that. They're going to take their shots. I mean, they were this close multiple times in that game. In the Cotton Bowl from breaking big plays. And I think that they probably look at that game and say, man, we're two Caleb down shoestring tackles away from running away with this.
Bad news. Caleb Downs still plays for Ohio State.
He's a great tackler. He's still there. Yeah. And still a great tackler.
Really yeah. I'm going.
Did you say a score?
Yeah.
21-17.
21-17.
Oh, that's right.
I'm going to say 23-17.
I like that. More of a Jim Tressel 3 field goal situation.
I'm feeling like there's going to be some stall outs.
Who's the kicker?
We don't even know who the kicker is.
That Fielding was. I just told a group on Saturday.
Is Jackson Corville really pushing Jaden Felding? Bob.
We have not spent enough time talking about.
Never mind. I got to take that back.
The special team's going to be pretty darn important on Saturday.
I mean, the guy's a 2-year starter, isn't he?
Yeah, but they brought in a starter.
You bring in a scholarship.
Oh, snap. Well,
probably the biggest thing underrated from 2005 is we missed a 45-yard field goal with about 6 minutes to go that would have put us up 9.
What else happened?
And I would have felt pretty good being up 2 scores.
I had to do an interview about that.
I know
2
you
weeks
did.
ago, and I had to go back to the box score, and I was like, man, the 2 series I got in the third half or in the second half, we could have got 10 points on.
Should have produced some points.
And that would have won it. If we'd have got either of those, we'd have won the game probably. But anyhow,
9 points with 6 minutes to go. I would have felt good. That's 2 possessions.
We'd have been running the clock out at the end of the game. Anyhow.
I really thought Birm was going to try and get you to cry.
I know.
I did that last week when I had to call that guy back to do an interview about it.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It was a doozy.
Tough one to swallow.
Ohio State is going to win this game on Saturday 20-10. I have a hard time believing that.
I like that.
It's not even like I'm skeptical about the Arch Manning greatness conversation, and I think maybe by the time these teams could rematch in the playoff, maybe it'd be a very different conversation and a lot more productive offenses.
These two teams are going to be totally
different. They're going to be very different.
Come down the line.
All I'll say is if Ohio State only gives up 10 points in this game on Saturday, they're going to win. They're going to score more than 20 if they do that, I think. But also, it means that Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese made themselves like a lot of money.
Very well known.
I think when we get back here a week from Tuesday, because Roosters is closed for Labor Day, that we will be talking about Arvell Reese as one of the most impactful defensive players in America. That's what I think will happen. So
I don't dispute that.
I think that is a distinct outcome that is in play for Ohio State. But the good news is the months and months of speculation are coming to an end, and Ohio State will play Texas on Saturday. It is a big noon game in the Horseshoe.
Weather sure looks beautiful.
It's a beaut.
San Diego of the Midwest. Roosters. This one on Henderson Road, I know for sure, will be open at 10 a.m. if you want to come watch. And when you're here, you can make sure that you register.
Yep,
you one of the millions and millions registering for the Roosters.
Were you going to say Rooster?
Yeah, I think that's.
It started to sound like
it's kind of like a Roosters and Register.
I'm rusty, man. I haven't done this show in 5 months, but it was sure great to be back with Nicole Cox, Justin Zwick, Bobby Carpenter, and Jeremy Birmingham. We appreciate all of you for watching right here on 97.1 The Fan, 10 TV, 10 TV Plus, and if you somehow don't want to watch and see what these delicious cheesy bacon wedges look like in person,
again, clearly the best application of cheese and bacon and a potato.
100%.
I mean, they're all good at Roosters, but this is in the power rankings number one. It is $3 on Appetizer Thursday. Don't miss it. Thanks for hanging out with us for a fun, casual conversation. This is Roosters. It's a fun, casual joint. We'll see you next week.